Hi everybody, I am, guess what, making a wreath. If you're thinking, why is he making so many wreaths all the time, and why is his camera so crooked all of a sudden? Why is my camera so crooked? Making wreaths because I don't have anything left to do. Okay, let me rephrase. I have a whole bunch to do, I just don't feel like looking for the stuff to do the stuff that I need to do. That makes sense? Good. So, I know I always say, oh, this is already done. Most of the stuff is already done. I'm just doing an assembly project here, but I wanted to make sure to leave this section so I can show you how I wire these. There's going to be one in the middle of these two welds, and it's going to be on these two inner rings. Just give it two twists. You don't need to give it much more than that. Put a little bit of tension on it, and it'll, I mean, it's not moving. And then the next two are going to go on these outer rings in between the pipe cleaner we just put down and the welds. Put a little bit of tension, twist. And twist. So I have, let me see what I have. I have this buffalo check. Are you guys like, oh my god, buffalo check? I have this buffalo check cut at 20 inches, and it's already ruffled. And I have black value mesh cut at, it's about 10 inches because I didn't know. I was trying to do black, white, but I didn't have enough white. So there's more black than there is white, but I'm going to distribute it evenly. So there's 12 10-inch pieces and then 6 10-inch pieces of the white. I'm going to try to do this. I don't know how because these I know it's easier on me, it's just they take up so much space. Alright, so I'm just going to start here. I'm going to put in, I'm just going to do both of them at once, how about that? Put that in, pull it tight. And then this whole thing has to be turned this way. So the cut edges aren't facing out because that will just lead to maximum frayage. And I like to kind of open mine up like that to make like a circle. Now I need a white one. I have everything in a bag right next to me, but of course it's all the white ones are at the bottom and then all the black ones are at the top and all the buffalo check ones are on the table. I mean, you guys know. You guys know it's a mess. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Oh, it is... I mean, I hate to complain given the state of the world. It is too freaking hot outside, though. It's April 6th, 7th, April 9th, maybe? And it is 90 degrees outside. I just left to go get a sandwich. And I was just like, seriously? But we keep hearing, oh, the coronavirus cases will slow down as soon as the heat comes. Sis, it's been hot since November. Like, it never got cold. But you know, what you gonna do? And in my parish, I don't know if it's Orleans. I think it's just my parish because I'm like, of course it's where I live, in my parish. Every summer, this will be a fun story if you think like coronavirus is bad, which it is, but oh, I gotta put another one in here. Every summer, around I'd say July, end of June, mid-June, in there, like when it's really when the heat just really comes on strong and it's just really bad. You can't do anything. You can barely leave the house. You have to leave the house and like be back before the sun comes up or you melt. We, here in St. Bernard, where I live, have the pleasure of our water getting infected with brain-eating amoebas every summer. Now, I know you're thinking, Adam, it's not funny to joke about brain-eating amoebas. But no, I'm not joking. Like, seriously. You have to, like, wash your kids with, like, bottled water to make sure they don't get it up their nose. And they do, like, a chlorine burn, and then the water tastes horrible for, like, a week afterwards. Yeah. But it's a little amoeba that goes into your brain and kills you. So I have that to look forward to this summer. If anybody's wondering, that's why I don't have my summer body yet. Because I'm gonna lose weight, get a hot summer body, and then the brain amoeba is gonna eat my brain. Brain-eating amoeba. And that's what they keep referring. I'm like, well, when they're talking about it in the news, can they not at least refer to it as its like scientific name instead of making it sound like something from a 50s horror movie? The news is like, another death related to the brain-eating amoeba in St. Bernard Parish. They're just like, why do we have to be terrible? Why can't we have nice things? But you can like shower and stuff. They just don't want you. They don't want your kids like in the tub, like young kids. They don't want your kids in the tub splashing and getting the water up their nose because that's where the brain-eating amoeba likes to go. To keep the water out your nose. They usually close down any spot that you could swim at, which I don't know why anyone would want to swim in any natural water here. Swimming in the bayou stuff. But yeah, I mean, I have that to look forward to. Step out of quarantine right into the brain-eating amoeba season. But at least they know how to like prepare for it because they know it's inevitable. Okay, see, can you tell where the white ones are and where the black ones are? I can't. So, I guess... I mean, I think if they were bigger ruffles to start with, you'd probably be able to see it more, but... they're not. So, what are you guys up to? Tell me in the comments if you have a brain-eating amoeba where you live. Know everybody's still okay out there. Brain-eating amoeba. It really does sound like a bad 50s B movie. You know, I was thinking about this quarantine the other day, and about how, what did they say? They had something that said during the last economic downturn, or whenever it was, you know, when 2008-ish, whenever it was that happened, like, all these companies were born because people were out of work and they were like, what can we do to make money? And they founded all these, like, companies that are huge today. Like, I think they said Uber was one of them. So, I'm interested to see, like, where that leads us, but also... most of the great art in the world has come from, you know, times of suffering. So it's like, oh, the music that's going to be written about this, and the movies that are going to be... oh god, Nicolas Cage is going to be in one of the movies, I just know it. Oh, that's terrible. But you know, for all those, like, 9/11 movies we had, there weren't that many Katrina movies, were there? Yeah, I mean, you know there's going to be a movie about this. I am more interested to see a movie from like the perspective of like a really strained family relationship, and they're all in the house together. And the dad, I'm assuming the dad, he goes crazy. That hasn't happened anywhere, because then I'm gonna feel really crappy about saying it. But that would be a good movie. I mean, there's people right now who are writing books and, you know, writing screenplays and painting and making music, and eventually we're going to get to see and hear and read that, and it's just, I guess I'm just trying to look on the bright side of things. Like all the things you never had time for, now you have time to do the things you didn't do before. You don't have an excuse anymore. And if you don't write the next great screenplay or write the next great American novel, that's fine too. This one is loose, so I'm going to tighten this up because I don't want it moving around. When people ask me, what did you know, like my grandkids, Papa, what did you do during the great quarantine of spring 2020? I'd be like, I made enough Christmas wreaths to make Mariah Carey jealous. They'll be like, who's that? And I'll be like, oh, she's been gone for a while now. You don't know. But I hope, I hope you guys don't mind that I'm just doing wreaths now, because I can do this. I have stuff to do this in my house. I can get the stuff to do this easily and quickly and pretty cheaply. It's hard for me to do anything else because usually I'm out somewhere and I see something and I'm like, oh, I can make that, whatever it is, but for cheaper, nicer, whatever. And because I'm not out anywhere and haven't been, even before we got quarantined because I was sick before, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I guess it could be looking on, like, you know, Pottery Barn, like with the peony wreath, but I don't happen to have like 5 dozen peonies in my house. Well, you know what? I probably do, but this is just easy. It takes my mind off of it. I have a finished product that I can turn around and sell when I'm done. I need another black one, right? Yeah. So that's why there's so many wreath videos. And it's just what I want to do. Which I used to put, like when I first started my channel, I would put so much pressure on myself, like, oh, well, I want to do what people want to see. And then, like, the stuff I was making, like, I was like, I don't care. Like, why am I even telling people how to make this? Like, I don't care about this. I don't think anybody else is going to care about this, but it's what everybody else is doing, and everybody else, for some reason, has 500,000 followers. I look on YouTube every day, and it's like, I gain 2 and then lose 4 within, like, the next 10 minutes. I don't know. Like, how does that happen? These look like long tarantula legs. So I talked to my mom before I sat down because I knew she was either going to text me or call me. So I usually like to call and say, like, hey, I'm going to be filming for the next hour and a half or so. So this is the outside. I don't think the black or the white made a difference. Especially once we get to the middle and it's going to all be black. With the buffalo check on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, do I not have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I have one really messed up piece that I'm trying not to use. So I talked to her and she said that Walmart was like crazy today because they shut down, I think she said they shut down one, like the one we usually go to on a Saturday. It's in New Orleans East. It's quiet. It's extremely clean. It's super annoying though because they do the not the site to store, the grocery pickup for, there's like a, I don't even know what you would call it, like a Walmart outpost that's just for grocery pickups. Because in Metairie, there's like one Walmart and it's all the way at the end of the other side of the city. So if you order groceries, they take them from the store in New Orleans East and bring them to this outpost where you can pick up your groceries. So I think the one in Metairie and the one in New Orleans East both closed today, just for today, so they could do a deep cleaning. And the one my mom works at is closing, I think she said Wednesday or Thursday, so they can do a deep cleaning. Which, I mean, it takes one person to go in there and not cover their mouth. You know, one person without a mask goes in there and sneezes, and what was all that for? And it makes me so upset because my mom's like an essential employee because she works at the grocery store. Well, she's a department manager, which I know, they need management there, whatever. But for the past 2 days, let me tell y'all a little something about Walmart. She has to come in. She can take a leave. They're like, hey, we'll give you 2 weeks off, and then you can use, your time if you don't want to be here. If you're, a high risk person, whatever. So she can leave if she wants to. It's not like they're like, you can't not come to work. But she's going to work. And she's a department manager of lingerie, so she gets there in the morning. She has to straighten up from the night before, even though why people are buying socks and underwear, extra socks and underwear right now, I have no idea, but So for the past 2 days, every time I've talked to her, I was like, what'd you do at work today? And she's like, oh, I stocked Easter candy and Easter baskets. And I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Like, seriously? That's what Walmart's concerned about? And she works so hard. I'm like, why don't they have you actually doing something besides restocking? Well, and of course they make her do it because they know if they ask her to do it, she's gonna say yes and she's gonna get it done. Because mother is a hard worker. And her air conditioner's broke right now, you guys. Oh my god. She told me last night. She's like, well, my air's not broken. Her air is broken all the time. And I don't know why it's never been properly fixed, or if it has been properly what's wrong with this? What are you doing? If it has been properly fixed or whatever, but I was like, oh my god, you're kidding me. And she said it was 80 degrees in the house, and I was like, oh my god, I would die. I'd literally be dead. But I think they're going to try to get it fixed. They had somebody come out, but something needed I don't know. I remember one summer my air conditioner broke, and my landlord was like, it was a Friday, and he's like, we're not going to be able to get the parts until Monday. And I was like, it's July. In New Orleans. What? Are you kidding me? So, I was super upset because I am very sensitive to temperatures. Wasn't always. It wasn't until Hurricane Katrina when I was trapped in my grandma's house for 4 days in August with no air conditioning, and now I'm just like, it needs to be cold enough to hang meat in here. I want the health inspector to come through and be like, alright, you can hang that cow up in the corner. But my This was a couple years ago. Mine went out, and my landlord was like, "Oh, we can't do anything until Monday." And I was like, I find that hard to believe. Like, maybe you can't get the person who cut you a deal to do it till Monday, but they could definitely have done something. To my mom, she's like, "Don't worry." She's like, "I'm gonna come over." And I was like, "What are you gonna do?" I mean, it's not like a panic attack where you can sit there and talk me through it. Like, unless you're the snow miser, I don't think you can help. So she comes over like half an hour later, and she's got a window unit. And I was like, "Oh, I guess you can help." And I put that window unit in my bedroom window, and I stayed in my bedroom for like the next couple days. And even after the air was fixed, I still kept the window unit and kept my bedroom frigidly cold. Okay. I don't like that I can see the frame. I think these need to... Yeah, because when I wired them, they were kind of pulled back, so if I can pull these up some... Yeah, that's better. So I guess you can see a little bit of the white, but when you look at the whole thing, it doesn't make enough of a difference. I don't think so, at least. Alright, now my ribbons I'm using... is this Buffalo check again. I think this is the one that behaves. I know I put in another wreath. I don't know if it was this one or another one. Another ribbon. But I had to go back and burn all the edges because they were just falling to pieces. So I'm gonna put a crease in those. And then I'm using this. This ribbon is so nice. It's so heavy. I mean, look, these are the same. These are both 9 ribbons, and look how much bigger this one is. I was thinking about adding red to this, but I don't know, I might just want to keep it black and white. I hope you guys are doing okay out there. I just wish everybody was doing okay. My mom did tell me, because, you know, I stay away from all the news. She said that the governor, he gives a press conference every day at like 2. She said that he said that the doctor said, and the experts said, that New Orleans is finally starting to flatten out some. And I was like, okay, but... are we really? Like, there were still cases, but it wasn't jumping as rapidly as it was. They turned our convention center into a... I keep wanting to say like a triage hospital, but it's like a field hospital. Like, they took everybody who was in the hospital for whatever reason, but didn't need to be on a ventilator, and they moved them to the convention center, which has like 1,000, either 500 or 1,000 beds. I feel so bad for those healthcare workers, though. Oh my god. Like, I feel bad for my mom that she has to be out there, but then I'm like, at least she's not a nurse or a doctor. My friend Stephanie is a nurse, but she's a nurse at the baby hospital. But you know, the first death we had in New Orleans was from the baby hospital, so it wasn't a baby. It's just, I think more people go there to have babies. Like, I think it's the same as every other hospital, it's just, it's more for OBGYN stuff. That's where babies are made. But I'm trying to keep in touch with her. Just so she knows, like, you know, I'm checking on her. Somebody's checking on her and hoping she's okay. They're building this big house down the road. Like, you guys know what that is. There's a main road that runs through. There's two main roads. I know I've talked about this before. But there's up the road and they're down the road. And it changes depending on where you are at on the road. So they're building a house down the road, which is... They used to live farther down than me, but only like a couple blocks over. But now they're moving like way down the road. Like, it takes like 15, 20 minutes to get there from my house, and there's nothing around. I was like, you are crazy. It's going to take you 30 minutes to go grocery shopping. But when we went to go see the house they're building, I was just like, wow, this is so nice back here. It's quiet. There's space. So nice. They have it's not like massive land, but it's more land than, you know, you have on a standard lot here. And it's, you know, when I drove in to see the house after they had, like, gotten some of the work done, and it actually looked like a house instead of just a bunch of sticks. A bunch of wood. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I don't see them too often anyway, so it's not like I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna be able to come see you every day, but I didn't see them all the time anyway. My stomach hurts. Not like stomach ache, like muscular pain in my stomach. Don't know why. My mom said it's because I overdid it yesterday when I cleaned my pantry. Did I tell you guys I cleaned my pantry? I don't think I filmed yesterday. So I cleaned my pantry because I never have food in my house, so my pantry never gets like messy or full or anything. But since there's a bunch of food in my house now, I was like, I need to organize this, and I threw away not coconut, was it coconut flour? I threw away coconut flour that expired in like 2016, and I was like, first of all, why did I have this? And why did I figure out something else to do with it? I must have bought it for something, who knows? We got that done, and I was like, okay. It's like just getting a little something done, because like I'm incredibly proud and impressed of these people who are like, I cleaned my whole house, I did this, I retiled the bathroom. I'm like, okay, well, good, I can't do that. My neighbor, oh my god, my neighbor next door, the one who's always cutting the grass, and he, you know, he's a mechanic. He painted the entire inside of his house, repainted the whole house. And today, I was like, I kept hearing this nail gun, and I was like, what is that? What is that noise? And I look outside, and there's like, he's like reframing the windows on the outside of the house. And I was like, he works for himself. Why does he, what's going on? But you do what you gotta do to stay busy. You know, if he looked in my window, he'd be like, he's making a wreath? This is actually not a Christmas wreath, but you know, any other time he would have looked at my window and said, he's making a wreath? In April? I've had like a run of horrible neighbors. First house I ever lived at, I moved out of my house when I was... when does school usually end? Like May? I stayed in my house for like a couple months after that, then I was like, bye. I cashed in some stocks that I had. Like every 18-year-old. Apparently. 19? I think I was 19 at the time. Cashed in some stocks, rented this crappy house. Didn't look at, I looked at one house and I was like, alright, this is fine, because I just wanted to get away from my dad and his girlfriend and her son. I was like, alright, I'll live in this crappy house. And my neighbor there, I never met her. She, her grandson came to my house one day. And he said, you live here? And I was like, yeah, who the hell are you? He said, my grandma lives next door. She's old and something's wrong with her, so I cut her grass. And I said, what do you mean she's old and something's wrong with her? He said, well, she's old and something's wrong with her and she can't cut her grass, so I cut her grass for her. Do you want me to cut yours? And I was like, okay, I'm not doing it. I don't have a lawnmower. So he cuts my grass and he's like, it's gonna be $20. And I was like, alright, well, that seems a little steep, but whatever. And then he came back like 3 days later and he cut the grass again. And he was like, it's $20. And I was like, you just cut the grass, dude. And he's like, well, I cut it again because it was looking a little high. And I was like, you're not gonna come to my house every time you need $20 and cut my grass. And I don't know who... I don't know, she either died or moved in with somebody, stopped living by herself, went to a home, I don't know. And I don't know who moved in after that, but I moved shortly after that because I was like, oh, I've been in this crappy house for, I think I lived there for like 2 years, but it was so crappy. It was like all gas, like gas appliances, but like a gas heater. Could not for the life of me figure out how to turn it on. Still don't know. It had one of those things in the bathroom that, you know, like there's just like an open flame. So I moved out of there and I moved into another house that was not, I think it was like $100 more expensive. The first house I rented was $450 a month. When I think about that now, I'm like, why didn't you stay there forever? Then I moved to another house that was, you know, was like it was 500, 550, something like that. And when I was there waiting for like the cable guy or something, and I had forgotten my cigarettes at the other house that I was moving from. And because he used to smoke. And I'm standing outside like waiting, and my neighbor comes out and she's rushing to get to work, and I was like, I saw that she had a pack of cigarettes in her hand. I was like, oh my god, can I please have a cigarette? And she was like, oh, sure. So we started talking, and yeah, I became friendly with her. And then she moved. Her and her girlfriend broke up and she moved. And then the hurricane hit, and I think this has to go here. I am sweating. Did I turn the air off? The hurricane hit, and I moved to my mom's for, I don't know, I guess I was there for about like 3 weeks before I said, I can't, no, I need some privacy. I didn't even need privacy. I was like, I need to be alone somewhere. So I started looking for houses, and I was like, why is everything so expensive here? Why is rent $900 a month? And my mom was like, you're not in Chalmette anymore. And I was like, yeah, trust me, I am aware. Been trying my whole life to get away from Chalmette. As soon as I got out, I was like, please let me go back home. So I found an apartment that took dogs. And I was like, all right, this is it. It was like $600, which I was like, it was a 1-bedroom apartment, no washer dryer, 2nd story, no assigned parking. I was just like, this is terrible. But I had never lived in an apartment before. I'd always lived in houses, so I think that was just my experience, because I was like, you know, it's a big adjustment, and I was going through a huge life change at the time. But I went to go get, this was right after I moved in, like I went to the office, and the lady, like the manager there, she's like, oh, here's your key for your mailbox. That's nothing, you had to like go and get your mail. I was like, they don't just bring it to your front door? It's like, here's the key to your mailbox, and blah blah blah. And when I'm leaving, I look at this bulletin board, and there's a bunch of stuff on the bulletin board, and it says, dear residents, we have our first refugee from Hurricane Katrina. He is in need of, and it was like, you know, regular household stuff, and I was like, oh no. So then for like the next, I don't know, it lasted a long time. It was like every time somebody was about to throw something out, they were like, hey, you need the stapler? And I was like, yeah, I don't have a stapler. I don't need a stapler right now, but okay. So all my pots, all my pans, a bunch of stuff in the house was just like donated from the neighbors, and I was like, that's so nice. I was like, does anybody have a car I can have? Because my car got left in New Orleans when we evacuated post-storm. Yeah, that was like my best neighbor experience. Then I moved here, and I have had 37 neighbors, each worse than the last, next to me. There was an old guy, and like the second night I was here, like I moved on a Saturday, and on Sunday he was pounding on my door, and he said, it was a Saturday, it might have been like a Monday night football thing. He's pounding on my door, and he's like, TV's not working. And I was like, that I don't have a TV. I don't why are you telling me this, old man? He's like, did they do something to the TV? I said, well, no. Oh, I did have a TV at the time. I was like, no, I don't think so. He's like, you got something installed today. I saw them here. And I was like, well, yeah, I got my internet hooked up and whatever. So he's like, I want to watch the game. And I was like, okay. And then he was just like, he was waiting for me to invite him in to watch the game. And I was like, first of all, this is a no football house. Secondly, I don't know you. Tell me I cut these wrong. Maybe. But yeah, and then he was really old. I think he was like the landlord's uncle or something. And then he moved out, and who moved in after? Oh, an old couple moved in after him. And I didn't talk to them because I'm very wary of neighbors. Like, I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna be the person you come into for a cup of sugar. Sorry, not me. It's like an old couple moved in, and then I think she died, and he went into a home. And then a woman and her son moved in, and that lasted for a couple of months. And then a single woman came in, and I was like, you know, I don't talk to anybody. And she was like, my husband beats me. And I was like, what? I was like, what's your name? She's like, I had to leave my husband because he beats me. And I was like, oh, hi. I'm just trying to go to the grocery, but okay. So she said, you know, she had left the husband, because he was abusive. And I was like, what do you say when when a complete stranger says that to you? I'm like, oh, do you want me to kick his ass? I don't know what you want. Okay, so I guess that did work out. So she was cool. She planted stuff. I still have one of her planters that it was a beautiful, like, one of those fake ceramic, you know, it was like resin, but it looked like fake ceramic. It was so pretty, and she spray painted it like the ugliest color. It's still in my backyard with her canna in it. Still alive, still spreading seeds everywhere. Then she left because she didn't stay. If she stayed for a year, that was a lot. But she found some guy and they got married and she moved in with him. And I was like, well, she really turned her life around quick. Like, good for her. And then we had a mother, single mother, and a single mother and her son move in. I saw the kid like once, and my landlord, when I went to go pay the rent one time, he was like, you talk to your neighbor? And I was like, no, I don't do that. He's like, she left an abusive relationship. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? So she was like, not, I mean, I think I said hi to her a couple times, but it was obvious she was like not into let's be friends and have a barbecue, which that was fine too. And then she left, and that's when I got the neighbors from hell, who originally it was a brother and sister, their aunt and their mom. The aunt and the mom were elderly. They were, I think maybe one or both of them had cancer. The mom died, and then the aunt, I think, went into a nursing facility, like a long-term care place. And then the sister left, and it was just the guy, and I was like, oh, this is so much, this is like perfect. He didn't make any noise, didn't do anything, and then he moved in all these other people, and then I was like, all right, this loud music, all of this nonsense, I can't handle that. And now my landlord is fixing up the house, and I don't know who's next. It could be you. Is it going to be one of you guys? Because I will come over and make you watch my videos and comment on them and share them every day. Every morning, I'll be at your house at 7 o'clock. I'm trying to make sure like all these are the right way, but get them all the right way. So this is my base. I have like a farmhouse sign. I think it says sweet farm milk, farm fresh milk, something like that. I still don't know if I want to add the red to it. I think I just kind of like it in black and white. We'll see. I'm going to take a little break and be back right now. Okay, let's figure out a bow. I am not loving that these are blending in so much, but I wanted something more subdued and understated and not glittery and in your face and aggressive. So I think it's okay, and I know that these are sticking out a lot more, so I'm gonna make me a 1-ribbon bow. Can I do it? Well, no, I can't because I have no idea where my bow maker is. Right here underneath a whole bunch of crap. Alright, let me sit down for this and zoom in a little. Why am I like so far over? That's better. So it took me a little break. Got on a heating pad for a minute. I love my heating pad. I was talking to this counselor who is a she is a student. She's a psychology student, and because everybody is so stressed right now, they are offering free counseling. I don't know if they do it all the time, but they were offering free counseling, you know, where a student would call you and you know, just kind of talk to you about whatever your fears were. And I was talking to her, and I was telling her about, you know, how my anxiety was so much worse. This was before I was back seeing my regular therapist. Like, I was using her to supplement. And she said, well, what's something that makes you... She was like the calmest, like almost one of those put you to sleep persons because she was so... One of those put you to sleep people because she was so like calm. She said, what's something that makes you comfortable? Where's your sacred space? And I was like, sacred space? I don't have a damn sacred space. I have a dog. I don't get to have a sacred space. Will this go on here? Kinda. Okay. Tight fit, but we got it. So these 6-inch loops, I'm just gonna go to a couple of 5s and then we'll see where we're at. So she's like, what's your safe space like? Where would that be in your house? And I'm like, my bedroom? She said, and what do? Do you light a candle? I am not even in the frame for this. I'm sorry, y'all. Do you light a candle? And I was like, no, just kind of lay in bed and cry. Okay. What can we do to make that a safer space for you where you feel comfortable? What makes you happy? What soothes you? And I was like, my heating pad. And she was like, oh, okay. Any particular reason? And I was like, because I can pretend like it's Christmas and it's real cold outside and I have to have the heating pad to keep me warm. And you could tell she was just like, what the hell is this guy's problem? Alright, that went from 6 to 5 to 3. No, 6 to 5 to 4. So I was like, yeah, that's my safety net, my comfort blankie thing. Whatever you want to call it. She was nice. I'm gonna miss talking to her. But I had my own therapist and I felt guilty enough, like, I mean, there could have been somebody else she was helping, you know? Well, I must use an entire roll of ribbon on this one wreath. I don't like that, but... Oh, this ribbon is so thick. But like 3 C's. Yuck. Don't you hate it when zip ties the little things not? Yeah, there's like a little piece of plastic in there that won't let it go through. I'm just gonna get this on here a little. Put over, of course. What's that movie with Rebecca De Mornay where she's like crazy? Like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Where she's like the hot nanny? And that woman's in a greenhouse. You know that one? Like how I'm like thinking that's any kind of descriptive thing. I think it's The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. 90s thrillers. If you weren't alive in the 90s, you missed a lot of good thrillers. Or if you were a child in the 90s like me and saw them later. Like Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction. Was that the 90s? Fatal Attraction might have been like really early 90s. Well, let me keep that on there until that's off. Fatal Attraction. Oh, that poor buddy. So I'm not doing anything special with this bow. Because I don't really have anything to like supplement it with. But I like that, it's just kind of... I don't want to keep progressively making these bigger and bigger just because I can. That's cute. So I am thinking about... This is not going to happen, but I'm thinking about it. thinking about like just taking a break for a couple days. I have more than enough videos to post that I don't have to film anything. I do feel I would be very, very bored, but I have got to try to get the stomach muscles, these abdominal muscles under control. I was about to say, did I clip off the... I thought I clipped off the pipe cleaners and left the cable tie. I think maybe just some time of, why are you doing this to me? Don't do this to me. Just some time of like relaxation would do me good. I'm gonna put this right here, I think. I mean, y'all knew where I was gonna go. Yeah, I don't know. Like it seems like it's like, oh, that's a great idea. Like you do work so hard, and you know, take a break. You don't do anything that's gonna, nothing's gonna fall apart if you're gone. I'm just like, what would I do? Come up here, maybe. Oh my god! This should not hurt so much. Like, I feel like if I just take a break from doing... No, because I'm like, I'll take a break and just clean my whole house, but that's still doing something. I need like a break from anything strenuous. And I know what you're thinking, like, how is making Wreath strenuous? But, I'm in bad shape most of the time, so that's how it's strenuous. Okay, see, I was afraid that this was not going to show up, but it actually shows up pretty well. And next, what's next? I got this from, who's got the dots? Dollar General? I have a bunch of Farmhouse signs because when Farmhouse got really big, I was like, that's what I'm supposed to have in my house. That's what all the cool kids have in their house. And then I bought a bunch of stuff and I was like, why am I decorating my house? Nobody comes over. What am I doing? And this is going to be interesting because I don't have anything to put a hole in the bottom of this with. And I guess I could glue it, but I think we know that that is not going to be a good idea in the long run. This little piece of... Yeah, see, I'm going to save this little piece. Well, I didn't save it, I took it out of the garbage. Just to give me a little added security. The more surface tension you have to glue something to, the more likely it will be to stick. And I will probably go through and reinforce that somehow. Okay. So we want it like here. Can you see though? I'm looking at through the viewfinder trying to find out where I want it, and I think I want it here. Nope. I'm kind of tired today. I want to pull this one down. I watched Clash of the Titans. Not the one with Harry Hamlin, the new one. So good. I love movies like that. Like non-accurate historical movies. And if that's where I want it, I'm going to come through and I'll just tighten this a little bit more. And just wind my pipe cleaner around here. And the other one. So I watched Clash of Titans, so tonight I'm watching Wrath of the Titans. But everybody, like, I don't know what it is. Whenever I need somebody to post on YouTube, nobody posts anything. And then when I already have a plan to do something else, everybody's like, here's 17 Wreath videos that you can watch. And I'm like, oh man, I want to do both. That's cute. The sign is a little small, but I felt like it's minuscule. Where's this other? Oh yeah, the other ribbon hat. Alright, and the last thing I'm going to do is add some cotton to this, because what says Farmhouse more than Dollar Tree cotton? Hopefully I can reach it without straining something. Oh, I did it. Ow! Kinda. I never understood the appeal of the Dollar Tree cotton because they sell it at Walmart, and I think it's nicer, and I think it's actually cheaper. I mean, it's not $1, but it's like $5 for a much bigger amount. That said, I did still buy like 100 of these when I found them. I'm not going to fight with trying to get this off, so let's just cut this right here. Or not. Whew. So what are some movies I should watch? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I have one to put by every tie, but I don't know that I want to do that. I'm just going to... See, I'm just pulling these down so I can have the wires. I miss watching horror movies, but like I'm not in a good headspace to watch something that's not like cheesy. Like if there's something that's going to be like super depressing or upsetting in some way, freaking Netflix every day is like, you want to watch Outbreak? I'm like, no, I don't want to watch Outbreak. Who are the people that are watching like Outbreak and Contagion and Pandemic? Like, who's watching that right now? Alright, I think I'm just going to kind of dot these around. Come on, Shelly. That's what I call my glue pot, Shelly. Come on, Shelly. Ah, crap. One of them fell on the floor. I think this is kind of dangerous because that Deco match snags on anything, and it is definitely gonna. Oh, these keep coming out of here. Maybe I should just. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I don't want to watch like anything that's going to be like a bummer or make me anxious. So there's like 100 scary movies I want to watch, but I don't know if that's good for me. Ow. There's a bunch of television shows I want to watch, but since Schitt's Creek aired its finale last night, I've started watching season 6, but I mean, I'm probably going to be done with that tonight. I don't understand why that's showing off the air. You finally have something where it's funny, it's hilarious. It's got a great cast, there's a lot of representation, and it finally reaches like its high point, and they're like, okay, this is the last season. Like, what are you doing? Like, I get wanting to go out while you're still relevant, but come on. And I don't know how the season ends, or I don't know what's going on because I'm only like 6 or so episodes in. But I just get sad when like you have to say goodbye to characters. I think it's because I read so much as a kid. But you know, given the current standard of TV today, I'm sure they'll be rebooting Schitt's Creek in, I don't know, like next year. We'll have like a reunion and they'll all be back. Or I don't know even know if they leave. I'm assuming they leave because that's the whole point of the show, is that they were going to get out of there. Or they'll do a movie. Like, who would have thought when Will and Grace ended horribly, that was the worst finale ever, that they would come back however many years later. I kind of have them at every couple of... Oh, that was a big glue blob that went in there. A glue blob. Every couple of ties, and then just kind of dotted around. But yeah, like with books, you know, not always a sequel. Movies, TV shows used to not always be a sequel, and then they were like, "Hey, we're gonna come back." Was it Roseanne did that first? to sneak it in under here, hitting some things on the way in. I don't know that I want any in the bow. I was watching somebody make an arrangement. Were they making an arrangement? I don't know what they were doing. It was some kind of patriotic mess. But I was like, what is this thing? I think it was like an arrangement. I'm guessing it was arrangement, but I was like, what are you doing with that? I think her name was Karen or Beverly. What are you doing with that, Beverly? But she was using the most minuscule amount of glue. And I was like, why are you cheaping out on the glue? It's not, I mean, I get that every penny saved, you know, but I mean, it was just like, boop. And I said, oh, no. Some kind of super secret strong glue that I don't know about, but I'm pretty sure it's just all Gorilla Glue. You gonna stay in there? Yeah? Cute. I'll just finish this off. Are you gonna go in there? There we go. Ain't nobody got any way in this world by acting indignant, Mr. Cotton. Alright, I don't think I dropped one on the floor, and I did, and let's hope I don't pull anything when I bend over to get it. Hello, baby dog. Oh. This does not look right. I think this needs to come over some more, but... Alright, where does the last lucky one go, y'all? Oh, that looks good. I just kind of jig it. Alright. Oh my god, that's so simple. I still think this needs to come over something like this. Come on. There we go. Alright, so that should have been a pretty quick video. I'm sure it's still 4.5 hours long, but that's cute. She's understated. She's a wreath for your mother. Is everything glued in there pretty good? This one's not, of course. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you like this, because it's just like an everyday wreath, and it's not a Christmas wreath in the middle of April. Comment, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, share me with your friends. Please tell them to subscribe. Tell them that it's getting embarrassing over here for me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.